Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris Burns from Techie Gurus, and today we're going to take a little different approach. So what I want to do is talk about how do we protect our clients? What are the technical things that we do to protect them? The first thing that we do is we do something called threat hunting. Now, what is threat hunting? Threat hunting is basically a proactive way for us to look for things inside of your network that are advanced threats that are trying to evade security. So we have a few tools that we use to do that. I'll kind of highlight that in a little bit. One of the things we're looking for is persistent footholds. And a persistent foothold is usually where a hacker or some sort of bad actor has put something on your computer to maintain access. A good example of this is the recent Exchange vulnerability that came out, and they were installing something called a web shell. Well, web shell was the ability to basically just kind of remote in over the internet directly back into the Exchange server and keep doing whatever they wanted to do as far as like ransomware, steal mailboxes, exfiltrate data, things like that. Next thing we do is we have something called ransomware canaries. So ransomware itself is basically where they'll encrypt your data and then they'll ask you for a ransom. Normally Bitcoin, so like one Bitcoin is anywhere between $50,000 and $60,000 today. So if they ask for one Bitcoin, they're asking for that much money. A lot of these ransoms are now getting upwards into $30–40 million, depending on who it is. So what a ransomware canary is it's a file that's on every machine that we deal with, and we can, if it gets encrypted or changed, we can notice that, and we're able to react a lot quicker to those types of threats. Another way that we do it is we do external recon. So we're constantly scanning the external networks of our customers, especially ones that have hosted services that are inside their network. Because one of the things we want to do is we want to see if something else has changed, like if a firewall rule has been changed, whether we accidentally did it or the customer, or maybe it's a co-managed situation where we're helping a customer out that has IT and they've opened up a port that they shouldn't have. So we do that for our customers as well, and that helps us kind of minimize those threats. And one of the big things that we do is vulnerability scanning. So we're constantly scanning firewalls for vulnerabilities, but we're also doing persistent vulnerability checking inside the network. Now, we can do this daily. That's a little more often than we really need to. We usually schedule it for weekly or monthly. So we're scanning to make sure that we know what vulnerabilities exist so that we can patch those if it's possible. And if not, have some sort of mitigation technique that we can use. And finally, we use something called XDR. It's extended detection and response. So what that does is allows us to do an enhanced way of seeing what's happening on every machine and being able to respond to that accordingly. So I'll actually show you like what an incident view looks like from our perspective. So one of the things you'll see in the video that I shoot after this, I'll splice back in, is a PC that had malware on it, and then like what we see and like what actually happened for that. So hope you enjoyed the video. All right, welcome to our demo. So let's cover the first thing we want to cover is what we do. We do something called user behavior analytics. So what you can see here is a user had been alerted or had generated 5 alerts. So what this means to us is they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing. So it could be downloading files that are showing up as malicious in a very rapid pace, or they're doing something like maybe trying to hack their way through the network. So that's one of the alerts that we get. Auto remediation. If it's a hacking event, we'll actually stop it. In this case, it was just kind of an alert for us. So one of the things that triggered that was this incident view. So the person actually in their OneDrive had files that were malicious. So it was trying to, basically it was a Trojan that would have gave somebody remote access into the PC. So when they tried to open it, it automatically did an investigation on the fly. It actually gives us a timeline. It also shows us exactly what parts of the computer were touched. In this case, Explorer, because it's from OneDrive. It shows the PC, the user, and then it shows like what the actual file was. And then up here in the top, you can see this was remediated in 3 minutes and 31 seconds. So from the time that the user did something, the file was renamed, quarantined, and everything in 3 minutes and 31 seconds. It's faster than any human can do. We leverage a lot of artificial intelligence for this, and that's what makes it so quick. But even though that's done at that point, it's also then forwarded over to our Security Operations Center, our SOC, to do a further analysis to make sure that it wasn't like a false positive, right? In this case, it wasn't a false positive, it was malware. So this was left quarantined, and it'll be deleted from quarantine in a few days. So that's the incident view that we get. It's very comprehensive. It's something that gives us a lot of visibility into the network. Another thing I want to show you is this. This is funny. We had one of our security guys internally, Connor, decided to try to do privilege escalation. So what that means is he was trying to go from a regular user to an admin user by using the Windows registry. This got flagged immediately. Like, this is like 30-second alert, and it got blocked immediately. So you can see there where it says prevention success, true, or success, and then it's also prevention is true. So it stopped it immediately. It was pretty awesome. We get an alert. Our SOC went crazy on us, and then had to talk with Connor, but it was pretty entertaining. So, and the last thing that we do, this is an example of vulnerability scanning that we do. So we do daily and weekly vulnerability scanning. So every single day it'll scan for certain things, like a user has been added to the user has been added as administrator. So we'll check this out. So these are server names. These are things like that I had to block out for privacy reasons. It'll actually show the IP address and everything like that. New user added to the domain. So it shows this stuff for us. So we get these alerts the next morning. So just in case somebody got added that shouldn't have been added, we know. Now, we also have some real-time things that can happen too as well. But for most customers, knowing that a user was added the next day is acceptable. But for some customers, we do have real-time where as soon as a user's added, boom, it pops alert up for us so we can see that, because we don't want somebody creating an admin account on a network normally, and then basically they can do whatever they want. So this is just an example of some of the tools that we have, some of the things that we do that gives us visibility into the network so that we can help protect you better. All right, I hope you really enjoyed that video, and I hope you got something out of it. Comment down below if you have any kind of questions about what we can do, or anything that I didn't cover, maybe I didn't cover quite right. You know, ask away and I'll respond to it as quickly as I can. Otherwise, have a good weekend. We'll see you next week, and be safe.